Oh yeah, it's the fabulous G.I.L.E. coming at you with something new. You know what I'm saying? We call this one funky lemonade. Lemonade was a popular drink and it's still is. Lemonade was a popular drink and it's still is. Get a taste of the lemon, limer, rhymer. I'm the Mac, a frack, a lack of ripping tracks like a tractor. Rap reactor with more than a bionic man. I'm blowing up as if I was atomic. No gold on my caps when I rap, so when I'm stunting. Cause you know and I know ain't no future in frontin' or faking when you're funkin'. Flunky, yo, flunk it, bring me along, cause you're bomb like Jim Plunkin'. I get top buck chunk, chill, I'm greater. I drop more flavor than the sun drops out on the equator. And I squeeze the lemon or this water flowing verse. So run and get your cup, cause I know you're thirst. Lemonade was a popular drink and it's still is. Lemonade was a popular drink and it's still is. I go splish, splash, I'm swimming, a lemon to a lime, and I rhyme for the women. I flow like Hugo Boss, I'm frosty, my name is G.I.L.E. Not Chris, don't cross me over. Yes, my head with airplane, no, cause if it ain't rough, it ain't wreck. Ask Kato, at the S to the H with the A. Peace be on to the brothers in the O. Peachy is fat, run and take a neighbor. I even got a taste test so you can catch the flavor. So get a sip, get a zip, get a guzzle. Simple, no puzzle, prop or a muzzle. Now swallow G and follow, rockin' the Apollo, freaks follow D. Demo back to my limo. Now honey, let me inject you with some liquid soul. And oops, I'm sorry, wrong hole. Now money, check your money, cause honey be undressing me. With her eyes and I advise you don't be stressing me. Stress I get enough, ain't that the truth? As the time me get, goof me get, goof me get, goof. You need proof, get brandy. I know Yankee, but when I doodle, hot damn it, it's a dandy. A real Bronx bomber. I run with the Legion and we blast with the big timer. No comma, a period, an exclamation point. My lemonade is the joint, check it. Lemonade was a popular drink and it's still is. Lemonade was a popular drink and it's still is. Lemonade was a popular drink. Lemonade and it's still is. Abracadabra. I flow like Niagara Falls. I take none, you diss me, you got balls. But I got a back for all of that, so what are you, dense? Holy.
Enough for that. We're here. I was trying to flex with a little bit of the music and whatnot, but you know, technical issues and things like that. Probably got too many windows open up here, and I'm trying to watch as I'm doing this. Well, we here. It's a little late, but we here. Before anybody say anything about my shirt, I love this shirt. I ordered this shirt, fit good on me. And yeah, you know, I'm taking back the multiple colors. I'm taking back the multiple colors because it takes a real man to wear something like this. Because, you know, nowadays, you know, if you have anything that got multiple colors in it, they connected to the rainbow and thus connected to the LGBT community, you know, which I am not. I ain't none of that. Heterosexual over here, but heterosexual men need to get back into wearing colors. Let's, you know, let the heteros take the color scheme back. We shouldn't have to be stuck in wearing black and white and grays and basic colors. Let's put some color in our lives. After all, we were the original colored people, the copper colored people. But anyway, we here. This is High and Mighty Thoughts with me, the intellectual Benjamin Manhattan. And before I start off, just like anything, in the name of Amen, the Supreme, the All-Powerful, the one and only true Lord, and Amen we trust, and Amen we thank it, and Amen we continue forward forever. Letting everybody get in the room. Again, I tried to flex on the music and whatnot, but it was running slow. We'll get it together. And I'm going to go ahead and invest in another camera. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. The rainbow belonged to us. We look good and stuff like, look at this shirt. It's a nice shirt, man. It fits me like really good. Since I took down my weight, got myself all leaned up and everything and all, lean and so it's like I said, we need to put more color in our lives. But I'm going to be speaking about a lot of things tonight. One in particular, the demonizing, the first, this is the first of them, the demonizing of black man, of the demonizing of the black man in religion, in the religion of God. I got a few things I want to talk about, but you might notice that thumbnail, and it's funny because a lot of people may not understand that this was, of course, an attempt by the Catholic Church to demonize black people, so-called black people, aka bronze people. That was an attempt to do that, to make us look like we were the evil people. Because if you look at that image, it's a famous image, of our people, of bronze skin, what they would call an angel, and him being rebuked by the pale skin angels, right? So if these people are being presented in the image as, the people of God, then this person, this bronze skinned person, they're promoting him as the devil. They're promoting him as devil, Satan, whatever the case is, right? This is what they're promoting him as. But what that's really saying is, or what that's showing you is, in that image, that the original people who we described ourselves as those people from above with, the image of wings, going back to the Sumerian, going back to the ancient Kemite, the Nutaru and all that, that is basically them showing themselves to be taking over our image and whitewashing the image of the angel and what the angel is supposed to mean, and making it in their image and after their likeness. I think they refer to as the Nutaru, Anunnaki, names like that, those who came from up above. And they're basically showing you the hijacking of that concept of winged men, winged supreme beings coming down to earth. And they're showing in the picture that, look, we taking over this image, and this bronze image, is gonna, go into, wherever they deem to be negative and things like that. So that's what you're seeing with this image. And that continues to this day. That right there was the first form of demonization of the so-called black man, aka the bronze man, in that image. And everything after that, they demonized us again by calling us black people, meaning people in darkness, people who are absent of illumination, absent of light. And that means that they're trying to basically say that we are a dark people, a devious people, a deviant people, a degenerate people, a evil people, which is obviously not the fact. It's more like the other way around, because again, as these people are presenting themselves in religion, presenting their image as God, presenting their image as all of these things, all of these characters, as they are presenting themselves this way, they are demonizing us. And when I say us, I mean so-called black men in particular. When I say us, you can look right in that image and tell. When Shakespeare, what was the guy, King James, so-called the King James, when he wrote the Bible, he also wrote a book called Demonology. Right? So if he's simultaneously writing a book called Demonology and writing a book about religion and God and heaven and all this other stuff, then who is he demonizing? Who are they demonizing? You could tell in this picture who is being demonized. And you could tell usually the people who are being demonized were the people who were first here. You see? The people that were first here, the people that were first, that concepts came from them. When you get new people like the Catholic Church is set up and wanted to take the old accounts of the Sumerians, the ancient Kemites, and other people who spoke about a winged race of lords or supreme beings coming down on earth and creating man to be servants unto the Lord and things like that. This all came from us. The concept of men and men coming from another realm, another plane, right, came from us. But also in that account, we had women as well. You see, when it got around to the Catholic Church, they took out the women in heaven. They took out the women, right? And it was all men with God in heaven. You ain't seen no women in heaven. You know, they might have some female saints on earth, but they don't have any female angels in the Catholic Church. There's no female angels. They're only male angels, which means that they're saying that only men could ascend to that heavenly abode. Men. No women allowed. Men. Women could be saints, but they can't be angels, according to the church. Right? That's the one thing they extracted, or that's the one thing they deleted or omitted when they stole the concept of angelic beings, supreme beings, Nitiru, Anunnaki, whatever, coming from above down on earth. They took the woman out. Why? Because the Greeks and the Romans, who the Catholic Church comes out of, were, basically a homosexual culture, LGBT culture. That was your early LGBT culture. Your early LGBT culture, which is the Greeks and the Romans, the Greco-Romans, right? They were the ones who created the idea of God and these Caucasian God and Caucasian angels and things like white angels, white God. They're the ones that came with that concept. Prior to that, the account of men coming from above on down to earth, that comes from our people. That account comes from our people. Like I said, the Anunnaki, the Sumerian account, the Nitiru in ancient Kemet or Egypt, the Nitiru, all of that. I think there's even a terminology for them in American indigenous folklore. I'm gonna call it folklore, right? I forget what they call them. Those beings, I forget what they call them. If anybody knows, all right. So it's the same way today, where we're demonizing the people who are the actual righteous people. The actual righteous people, the ones who came down, they look like our people, man. They look like our people. This is why, if you notice, they make sure that all of the angels, all the prophets, all of them, they make them in their image, in the image of Caucasians. Right? They make them in the image of white people. And then turn around and get you to worship that image, get you to worship Jesus Christ, white Jesus Christ, a white God, a white Jesus, all of these things while demonizing you. They're referring to the so-called devil as the prince of darkness. Then turn around and call you black people. You see, one of the things our people need to do going forward in 2024, they need to leave religion alone. Leave religion alone. Not just religion, God altogether. Black people need to leave, the intelligent ones of our people. I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about the intelligent ones of our people. They need to leave religion alone. They need to leave God and Jesus and the devil and all that other nonsense alone. Right? Why? Because we're on to a whole new, or should I say a whole next level of understanding or ultra-standing, complete comprehension of what this higher power is. I talk about this every night, which brings me to my next thing, my next topic. A race of lords. That just came to me. Why? Because it is time to raise a race of lords. But in order to raise a race of lords, we have to abandon God. We, as the intelligent people of the Lord, I'm talking to the bright people of our bloodline, of our seed, the intelligent ones, the ones who have evolved beyond God, beyond the devil, beyond Jesus. And we realize that the true power is going to rest with us. The future is going to rest with us. We are evolving into that race of lords. And what do I mean by that? I say certain ones of our people, not everyone. The intelligent ones, the disciplined ones, the ones who see the need for community. We are evolving into that race of lords. While we are evolving into that race of lords, meaning a people who will govern themselves by law and order, by supreme law and supreme order from a higher state, the fourth dimensional state, we are evolving into that race of lords. We are going to be that people that have that unlimited power. If you look at our people, the bronze people, so-called black people who are falsely being called black, you see we look like a powerful people. Look at our skin, our hair and whatnot. We look like a powerful and dominant people. We look like a powerful and dominant people, and we're supposed to be seen as that, and we're supposed to carry ourselves as that, as a powerful and dominant people. How the hell we got dominant genetics? How the hell we got dominant genetics and we being dominated by people with recessive genetics? I kept asking that question. How is it that we, as a people with dominant genetics, how are we being conquered, ruled over, and told what to do and taking orders from people with recessive genetics? You see, how? You see, how is that? Answer, because everything is out of order. Answer, because our people are unfortunately under that God frequency. What do I mean when I say the God frequency? I mean that low-level frequency of submission and worship. The worst thing that ever happened to our people was the worship of God. God was the worst thing that ever happened to our people. God, Jesus, Allah, Jehovah, Yah, these were the worst things that ever happened to our people. Why? Because it taught us to pray, to worship, and to bow down to the gods of our enemies. Yes, we were taught to bow down and pray to the gods of our enemies. Let's not sugarcoat it. That's what it is. We've been taught to bow down and pray to the gods of our enemies, and we have received nothing for it. We have not been raised because of this. We have not been raised into a state of power, into a state of rulership. But they have. They have. You know how? Because whenever you can get people, whenever you can get people to worship your image, then you get these people to, whether you call your image God, Jesus, Allah, whatever, all the gods within religion, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, all of these gods are white. They're all white. They all white or some other form of whiteness. They don't look like us. They don't look like us. Or is that popular Kendrick Lamar song, They Not Like Us. So if we sitting up here worshiping a pale-skinned, blue-eyed Jesus or white prophet Muhammad with a red beard or whatever, that's off as hell, man. This is why we're in the condition we in. You see, not only are they demonizing us, but they got us worshiping their image as well. And that Greco-Roman influence that created God, that created the devil, that created all of these fictitious beings, which was nothing but, again, the creation of the Catholic Church and the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, I believe. I think it is 325. The Council of Nicaea. They created Jesus Christ from the Greco-Roman god Jupiter and Zeus. From the Roman god Jupiter and the Greek god Zeus, the consolidation of those two words, Jupiter and Zeus, became Jesus or Jesus. And this is the God that the world worships today. The God that black people are worshiping, the God that the world is worshiping, Jesus, is a Greco-Roman God. That is a Greco-Roman God you're worshiping. That is not no heavenly father. There's no heavenly father called Jesus. There's no heavenly father called Yahweh Shah. For you Israelites who want to blacken up Jesus, that don't exist, man. That don't exist. Jesus Christ is a character that was created by the Catholic Church, along with that story and whatnot that was plagiarized from other stories and whatnot and added into the Bible. That picture right there should let you know the one where I said how they demonize us, because that's what they do. People come and steal our culture. Other races of people come and steal our culture and then turn around and demonize us. You see how it has continued from the time it started back then in the images, because see, the images are everything. Your images, your paintings were your first form of media. Because back then there was no TV, there was no radio, there was none of this. There was only pictures. And what they say, a picture says 1,000 words. So when whoever painted that picture of these Caucasians with these white Caucasian angels, and I guess that's Jesus in the picture, whoever the hell is in the picture or whatever, and then you got the bronze skin one, because I think that's the story of Jesus and the angels, and then the story about the devil tempting Jesus with the orphan in the world. I think that's what it is. But notice they show you a depicted devil as a so-called black man, a bronze man. Right? Look at the skin color of that. Then why didn't they depict the devil as a white man like they did Jesus? Or God, why don't they depict the devil that way? It's always some bronze-skinned people, because that's whose culture they were taking at the time. Again, when people steal from you, they demonize you on the way out as they take it from you. Like how people are trying to steal, trying to take credit for our music, jazz, R&B, soul, hip hop. These people are these same people that demonized us, like these Caucasians that called our music monkey music, called rock and roll, which comes from our people. They called it monkey music. They called our blues music jackass music. That's where the word jazz came from, because they used to call it jackass music. Jackass, and it became jazz, and then it became the double Z's. But they demonize us and then steal our stuff, like how they demonized our people for rock and roll. And then Elvis Presley, he starts singing rock and roll. Then all of a sudden, it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Originally, rock and roll, when Big Mama Thornton and all them other people were singing it, because Little Rich and all, it was nigger music, it was devil music, it was evil music. Then the white boys start saying that Elvis Presley, who he was copying from a so-called black man by the name of what's this guy's name? My wife knows the guy's name. I forget what the guy's name is. Otis Blackwell. He copied off Otis Blackwell. Why nobody never talk about Otis Blackwell, or the fact that they so-called king of rock and roll, had a copy from a so-called black man? I mean, literally copied from him. He paid Otis Blackwell money to cover the songs, and then he would just sing over the tracks. That's what Elvis Presley did. He was copying a so-called black man. You see? But again, they don't talk about that. They demonize the music until they start doing it. You see, they demonize us and steal from us, and then turn around and take our music, take our culture. Like the fact that we're walking around here in America being called African Americans and black people, when that's not the case at all. We are the real American Indians who had our culture stolen from us, who had our heritage stolen from us by these people who call themselves Native Americans today, and they know the truth. They know the truth. They elders know the truth. But a lot of these elders within these Native American tribes are Caucasians, and they're racist as you know what, and they're not trying to sit up here and tell our people the truth. They rather steal our heritage and call us African Americans and Wabos and all this other crazy stuff. And these people, you trace their heritage back to people who call themselves Native Americans, you'll find Asian, Caucasian, they come from Europe, they come from Asia. That's where their bloodline go back to. But they don't ever have to take a blood test. When they come to us, when we say we American Indians, oh, you got to take a blood test, you got to take a DNA test. But the Caucasian, white boys, or whoever could just walk on the plantation talking about, I'm half Cherokee, 3/5 whatever. You see, Navajo, or whatever the hell they make up, and they just accept them. You see, why demonizing us, why stealing our culture? Oh, all the American indigenous tribes that are out here in the world today, man, that's still active. The people who know the American Indians. You know how many it's so many American Indian tribes out here who don't get talked about, because again, they're not trying to acknowledge the American Indians, which would be us. They want to acknowledge the Native Americans, which was something that was started by the Europeans. That term Native American. You see, the natives that came over here, and when they were using that term native, they were using that term because they were trying to connect themselves to this place. They were trying to connect themselves to America, because they were coming out of Europe and other places, and they didn't, they wanted to leave that life behind. Like I said, a lot of these people wanted to steal our identity, because we have a very rich heritage and identity. We have a very rich heritage and identity, and people wanted to steal that. So now it's time for our people to take it back. Take back who we are as American Indians. Because again, they're not using that term anyway. They call themselves Native Americans. You can't have both. If we start calling ourselves American Indians, we got every right to. Because I tell you this, they don't call themselves American Indians. They call themselves Native Americans. You see? So we need to start standing up as American Indians in America, as the American indigenous people. That's why we have our own American indigenous community right now, to replace the so-called black community that never existed. That has never existed. We have our own American indigenous community to replace the black community right now. But we only want our people who've let that whole African thing go, because we're not African. You see, be very mindful. Let me tell you something. Be very mindful of the titles that these Europeans, these invaders, these Caucasians that are here in America today, falsely calling themselves Americans. Be very mindful of when they try to hand you a title. Like, notice whenever we say we was the ancient Egyptians, oh, y'all ain't the ancient Egyptians. Or when we say we the American Indians, oh, y'all ain't the American Indians. Or when we say we was the Samaritan, oh, y'all ain't the, we African. Oh, yeah, you niggas are African, though. You African. You African. Why? Because African is a creation of theirs, just like which comes out of the Greeks and the Romans as well. All right, upon them conquering Africa. So they brought this Greco-Roman God worship, which is really man worship. They brought this Greco-Roman God worship into America. We follow you so-called black people that's out here praying to Jesus, you praying to a Greco-Roman homosexual God. That's what and how you know that Jesus is a Greco-Roman homosexual God is because look at all the homosexuals that's in the church. Look at all the homosexuals that follow Jesus and believe in God. Look at them. Because again, if God was, the God they worship was so righteous and, and everything, if God was so stern, then these people couldn't follow God. These people couldn't follow God. You see, these people couldn't follow God if God was so stern, because according to the Bible, it's an abomination to be a sodomite. It's an abomination to be a sodomite in the sight of the Lord. It's an abomination, but not in the sight of God. You see, the sodomite will tell you there's nothing wrong with him being a sodomite, right? They'll tell you that, but then they'll say God love everybody. So if God loved everybody, there's nothing wrong with being a sodomite. But then they tell you in the Bible that's an abomination. Then there's something wrong here with this picture. You know what's wrong with the picture? The picture has been convoluted because the original law, which came from the lords of the earth, the original law that came from the lords of the earth was that a man laying with another man, a sodomite or whatever, that would be considered an abomination. And it is an abomination. You see, that's not what men are supposed to be doing or women are supposed to be doing with each other. We're supposed to, the opposing or the opposite sex is supposed to come together to make something grow from that, which is life. But under Jesus and under God, you could be a homosexual. You can be a preacher with a rainbow flag on and preach. You could be a homosexual under God, because the homosexuals teach that God loves everybody. And you know what? That's fine. It's fine that the homosexuals claim God. That's right. That is right. That's why I say I don't follow God. I don't follow God. I don't follow Jesus. I don't follow no gods. I follow the Lord. The Lord is the law and order that governs man and woman who come from above, who known as the Amen race. I follow the Lord, and therefore I am a Lord, not a God. I am a Lord, not a God, because I am a man who follows law and order. The word law and order are put together to make the word Lord, whether you know it or not. You see, the L is for Lord, for law, and the O-R-D is for order. That's where that's coming from. That's where you get the Lord from. And the people who were in rulership, the lords of the planet, from which the word N come from. When you heard in the Sumerian Enki and Lil, it was basically speaking about a race of lords, a race of men and women who lived by laws and orders, and that's what made them a holy people or righteous people, a supreme people who lived by law and order. This is why our people was, in alignment with the Lord. Very rarely did our people ever use the word God until like the 50s and the 60s. But prior to that, we always said the Lord. We always instinctively said the Lord, because the difference between the Lord and God is that the Lord and the Lord's chosen people have laws, statutes, orders, and commandments to follow from on high. A higher state of law and order, a higher authority that we follow in a higher state, which raises us to a state of supremacy as a supreme race of people. It's a supreme race of lords or a supreme race of beings. But the people of God, they don't have no law. They don't have no order. That's why you got sodomites, you got, all kinds of degenerates who follow and believe in God. Let's just keep it real. You see, there's a difference between the Lord's people and God's people. We're supposed to be the Lord's people, being the people of law and order. And we are suffering today. Our so-called black people are suffering in America today. The American indigenous people are suffering here because we broke the law, statutes, and orders of the Lord, the higher self. The Lord represents the higher self. Our seed, our children, they represent the Lord. We represent a race of lords because we're supposed to be walking as lords, meaning walking manifestations of law and order. That's what the Lord is. One who is a walking manifestation of law and order. Is that clear? You see the difference between us who are a race of lords versus those who follow God? Because again, God, the appeal that people have when it comes to God is that God has no rules, God has no laws. So you can come to God, you can believe in God, you can create your own God. I'm gonna show you something. How many of y'all remember that movie, The 10 Commandments? I'm gonna show you something where you start to see the difference between the Lord and God. How many of y'all remember that movie from 1956, The 10 Commandments? I know if a lot of y'all, are not elders and whatnot, y'all ain't gonna remember it, but it's a good movie because in there, so you gotta be able to pay attention to find parts you missed. You see, it was a part with Moses, for the elders, y'all don't know what I'm talking about. There was a part in the 10 Commandments where Moses, he took his people out of Egypt, right? He took his people out of Egypt, and he went up into the mountains and whatnot, and he received the commandments from the Lord, and he was gone from his people 40 days and 40 nights. Now, while he went up into the mountains to get the commandments from the Lord, his people was out here creating a god. You follow what I'm saying? His people was making a god, a golden calf to worship, a physical animal to worship. You see, that they were showing you that was the beginning of God worship. People started trying to create graven images, as they say. Graven images started to create a bunch of false gods, like you hear today. Like you'll hear these people tell you, especially a liberated black female, I got my own God. My God says it to me, and my God said, everybody got all these gods they follow, which is really they self. They follow in their lower self, because when you say you follow God, you're really following your lower self. You're not following your higher self. The higher self is the Lord. The lower self is God. Why? Because so many people on this level, in this three-dimensional space of people, place, and possession, they all believe in God. They all believe in God and follow God and acknowledge God as a higher power. But God is only limited to this space, to this three-dimensional space. In other words, there is no God on a higher level. There is no God on a higher level. There is none. The God of this world is the God of this world. That's it. Be it Allah, be it Jesus, be it Yahweh, be it Brahma, Shingo, them African gods, all that BS. All those gods that were created by man are only of this world. They have no space in the future world, in the higher world, in the extended space. They have no place. The only ones that have a place within that space is the Lord's chosen people, which is the Amen race. The Amen race, not the human race. The Amen race, which is who we are. This is all mental, like I'm teaching now. Now, I know people are going to be like scratching their head. Where this guy get this from? Where this coming from and whatnot? We can have that logical conversation. You can ask the questions. Again, exactly, idol worship. Because that's all God worship really is. God worship is idol worship. Okay? God worship is idol worship. You know how you know that? Because what did they do? They gave you a picture, right? They gave you ramen noodle God. Yeah, ramen noodle God. Right. They gave you a picture, and the person that said the ramen noodle God, that was that guy Tafarka Gay. Nigga, Tafarka Bay, you worship a ramen noodle God too called Allah. Your ramen noodle God is called Allah. Okay? That's what that's the ramen noodle. Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, those the ramen noodle gods right there. When we speak about Amen as the Lord, we're speaking about ourselves in the physical state, in the present state, and into the eternal state. We're speaking about ourselves. We're not speaking about nobody else. When next time the Muslims pray to Allah, ask them who Allah is. They can't tell you who Allah is. Even if they try to say they Allah themselves, they don't really believe that. They don't believe they Allah. They don't believe they Yahweh, God, or whatever they call themselves. They don't. You see? They don't. A race of lords, a race of supreme people, a people who are supposed to be in rulership, that is the people of the Lord. The people of God are in servitude. The people of the Lord are in rulership. Y'all get that? Let me say it again. The people of the Lord are going to be in rulership. They're supposed to be in rulership. The people of God are supposed to be in servitude. You so-called black people, you are the people, you are the children of God, aka the white man, aka Jesus, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Ramen, God, whoever y'all say it. Like Taharka Gay said, you know, y'all follow the white man. You follow his religions, whether it's Islam, because again, that's a white man's religion. Islam is a white man's religion that you Negroes are following. Just like Christianity ain't no different than Christianity, ain't no different than Israelites. These are all Caucasian people's religions. You see, that's not our culture. That's not our heritage. Let me see something. All right, I'm trying to read your comments. But yeah, the worship of God is idol worship, man. The worship of God is idol worship, and so-called black people are worshiping the idols of the beast, man. That's what it spoke about in the Revelation, where it talked about the world following behind the beast. Who is the beast today? The beast today is God, man. The people who put God in the forefront. That's the beast today. The people who hide behind God and religion and doing all kinds of foul, degenerate things, filthy, degenerate things, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. Now ask yourself a question. How can the people that claim to be worshiping a higher power, how can they do so much degeneracy? If they claim to be being such a high power, you got all kinds of degenerates, rapists, pedos, sodomites, all kind of degenerate behavior that's going on from the people that follow God. What's up with that? Why is so much degenerate behavior going on from the people that follow God, that believe in God, who pray to God? Why is so much degenerate behavior? Why the gangsters, the thugs, the criminals, the drug dealers all got the cross on and following God? Why is that? Answer: because the God they follow is a Greco-Roman God. And you know, the Greco-Roman gods that was created by the Greeks and the Romans, they did whatever they wanted to do. Ain't that what y'all teach today? I'm God, I can do whatever I want to do. The black man is God, the black woman is God, the white man want to be God too, everybody God. So God can do whatever he want to do, because what that really says is you're not trying to follow any law. That's what that means. That's idol worship. You're not trying to follow any law, any order. You just do as thy will. That's Aleister Crowley, man. That's the God y'all follow is Satan, man. That's the God that y'all follow. You see? That's why, again, so many unrighteous people follow God. What I mean by that is, if so many negative people are attracted to something, obviously that thing has to be negative, don't it? Doesn't that make sense? So many negative people are attracted to God. So many so-called sinners, so many so-called, degenerates and people doing all kind of filth. So what does that tell you? If you have something that is attracting foul, filthy people, degenerate people, and that's what's in religion, let's just be for real, a bunch of foul, filthy people who just trying to hide their foulness and their filthiness, trying to clean up their act, but yet still doing what they're doing. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? That tells you that these people are not right. That's not the people of the Lord, man. That's the people of God, man. The people of God are not right. You got these people who, like I said, I'm sitting here with a beautiful shirt on, and you got these people who are taking something beautiful like the rainbow and wrapping it around some sexual perversion. They wrapping it around some sexual perversion and trying to find pride, trying to take credit for something that's supposed. Again, that makes no sense to me. I'm wearing this as a heterosexual man who's standing up for living color, because living color represents power. See, they try to run us into black and white when we're supposed to be living our lives in color. That's why you're seeing a lot of colorful things or whatnot colorful. We're getting out the whole black thing. You see, that has to leave our mentality. So let me move on to the next one. I talked about why we follow the Lord and not God, because the Lord represents judgment, righteousness, and that's what we have to embody as men and women. Judgment, righteousness, supremacy. You see, reality. That's what we have to recognize here on earth. That is our entry to the highest space. That is our entry to that greater space. That highest space of illumination, which y'all call the upper room, because this is the upper room. This is the upper room. And the only way to bring down outside of ourselves the upper room is to think as people of the upper room. Because, see, powerful people will convert a space to their liking. A powerful people can convert spaces to their liking. So that's a message to our people who we are sending out this message to, the bright ones of our people, the illuminated ones of our people. You see, that is what I'm saying. I said we fix spaces around what we want. It ain't about the people in darkness. It's about the people in illumination and brightness and living color. And again, I'm representing living color. I want my people, the Lord's people, living color. The Lord's people are supposed to be the ones carrying the rainbow, not God's children. The Lord's people are going to be carrying the rainbow in this day and time. The real men and women of the Lord, the Amen race. Right? So I spoke about that race of lords. That's supposed to be our people. You see, again, our people have been under that low-level God frequency. That's why our people were able to be demonized in the society. Now on to something else. I want to talk about the 6 things you can't trust about these pro-black influences. Because let me tell you something. Leadership of our people has been replaced by influences. The leaders have been replaced by influences. That's why our people are not being led anywhere. We got a bunch of influencers out here, right? We have a bunch of influencers out here who are influencing our people in the wrong direction. We don't have no leaders. We got a bunch of influencers now, and that's a bad thing. Because we needed one community, one leader to guide our people in the right direction. But unfortunately, now that you got a bunch of influencers who ain't on nothing they damn self, they influencing people to be nothing and do nothing in life. They're being the influencers. So let me, even to getting our people to follow the wrong thing. So let me go ahead and read these 6 things you can't trust about these pro-black influences. The 6 things you can never absolutely trust about these people. And that is, number 1, anybody that's telling us that we come from someplace else other than America, if somebody's telling us that we African or we got African origins or that we come from slave ships, if anybody's teaching that about so-called black Americans, they can't be trusted today in 2024. Why? Because there's too much information out about who we are as American Indians. There's way too much information out as to who we are as American Indians. So anybody that is telling us that we came from Africa on slave ships, that that we were packed in like sardines, and they moved us like we were damn. Again, I could never get with that. They talk. The way the white man talk, they talk about moving our people around like we were damn furniture, man. Like yeah, we're gonna put these people in slavery and we're gonna do this. Do you understand what that means when you say you're gonna put a people in slavery? Like, you really got to think y'all are racist supermen if you think you can force another group of people into servitude. And the only thing, because that always blew my mind, I'm like, well, damn, if this really did happen back in this, and I'm like, wasn't people fighting and going? And they never tell you about the people that put up a fight and who wasn't going to be slaves. They only tell you about the people who they supposedly captured, and they just took millions and millions of people, and y'all ain't had no say. They never talk about the people that fought and killed for their freedom. They always talk about people who they just took like and moved like cargo. I mean, that don't even make sense to me. It makes no sense. Because it's not supposed to make sense to you. They want us to keep believing that when they decide to do something to us, ain't nothing we can do about it. They want you to believe that, because again, that's still part of that God programming in their head. They want us to look at them as God. They want us to look at them as our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, or Allah, or Yahweh, or Jehovah. And y'all fall for this stuff, man. You fall for this stuff. You sit up here and you put these people on a pedestal as your God while turning your back on the Lord, which is yourself. You're supposed to be becoming that race of lords, man. So back to this, one of the things you can't, anybody telling us that we came from Africa, or that we Africans, or that they justify the term African American, don't listen to them. Okay, so that will put Umar Johnson out. Definitely don't listen to him. Anybody that's telling our people that they black people, right? That we black, our skin is black, and we black-skinned people, and that black this and black, anybody talking like that, don't listen to them, man. You already know it's too many people, numerous people to name about the whole black thing, right? Anybody that's saying that we not the American Indians, like, and as in certain people trying to tell us we're gonna get reparations as black people, when it don't even make sense that you asking for reparations as black people. It makes sense that you ask for reparations as American Indians. That makes more sense. Why? Because who had the land taken from them? The American Indians had the land taken from us. The Trail of Tears, all that was going on all around the place. Our people were being moved off of our land for Caucasians to come and take our land. You see, that account is about us. When they talking about taking the Indians and moving them off their land, and they also left out the part about putting them in slavery too. You see, or forcing them into slavery, because how our people were forced into slavery was, once the white man came with they militia and made you get off the land, and for other white people, the white people that they gave the land to couldn't work the land. So what they do, the black people had one or two choices. Our people, like, they basically start faking our people to black. You could either stay there and work and feed your family, which AKA is servitude, or you could be an indentured servant and work and get a little next to nothing, and practically be in servitude for all your life and buy your freedom, you see. Or you could just keep moving. And that's what a lot of our people chose to do. They just kept moving. Certain people was like, oh, we ain't moving. That's how they ended up in slavery. That's how slavery, and it wasn't millions of black people in slavery. That's a damn lie. That's a lie. Wasn't no millions of so-called black people, American and Indians in slavery. That's a lie. A lot of them were working for what's called slave wages. You ever heard that term, slave wages? Where it almost seemed like you ain't getting paid nothing, but you're getting paid a little something. A lot of people work for slave wages, but the people that got put in slavery, the American Indians, a lot of our people who were the American Indians got put into slavery because, remember I told you they had these you had so many American indigenous bronze tribes that you had some people that was working with the white man. You had American Indian tribes that were working with the white man to help capture other American Indian tribes, us, to put us in slavery because they needed people to work those plantations they were taking over. So what happened is they were capturing indigenous tribal people who were living in homes and things like that, not people living in teepees. Not the so-called Native Americans, but the American Indians who had homes and things like that and built communities. They would raid those communities and take the women and children and whatnot and throw them into slavery on a plantation. You see, that's how slavery got started. Remember they used to tell you that story about, oh, you know, you black people got put in slavery because there was tribal wars and some African tribal person took y'all and put you in slavery and just put y'all on slavery. Again, remember I said just take the whole Africa part out. That happened in America. There were tribal wars, American indigenous tribal wars, and you had dirty Indians, dirty indigenous people helping the white men capture our people. That's what they mean when they say, oh, you know, you black people was in Africa and y'all was capturing each other and selling you to white men. No, that happened here in America. They was capturing slaves and whatnot from other Indian tribes and selling them to the white man for muskets, wine, and tobacco, whatever the hell else the white man was trading. That's how they started getting slaves, and they did it with the Yamasee went into slavery. A lot of them, black people, so-called black Americans, are descendants of Yamasee down in the southern regions. You see. So that's how slavery really got started. The American indigenous people, the American Indians, which is us, were enslaved, not Africans. Not Africans. Africans were never enslaved in America. Indians were. The American Indians, us. So anybody that's telling us that we not Indians, that again, and we African, don't listen, they can't be trusted. Anybody that's saying that black people are going to get reparations, they can't be trusted. That's 4. Okay, so we got people claiming that we came from someplace else, aka Africa. People claiming that we have connection to Africa, meaning that all life started in Africa. So that really would be 5. You see, claiming that all life started in Africa and we part of some African ethnogenesis, whatever the hell, and we all come from, saying, don't trust them people. So that's 5. Okay? Anybody tell us that we black, anybody tell us that we came from someplace else, anybody tell us that we African, anybody tell us that all life started in Africa, right? Anybody tell us that black people are going to get reparations, again, there's no such thing as black people. How you going to give black people reparations? There's no such thing as black people. You better off saying, we as American Indians, and we can prove that we American Indians. We can prove that. That's what our grandmama was telling us. They've been telling us we didn't come from no Africa, that we come from this tribe and that we Indians and whatnot. Our grandmothers all told us that. A grandmother, a great aunt, somebody told us that we got Indian in our family, which really means our family are American Indians, American indigenous people. That's what that means. So you would have been, so anybody telling you that, oh, you know, black people, again, there's no such thing as black people. American Indians would be due reparations. So why are they not saying that we're supposed to be going to the government, proving that we have these lands as American Indians? So anybody that's telling you black, they're really steering you down the path to nowhere. Because there's no such thing as black people. Black people are not recognized in the United States, in the United States setup or the United States system, the U.S. system. They're not recognized. Black people. That's why y'all gotta fight. Fight for civil rights, fight for all kinds of recognition, because they don't recognize us because we're not immigrants. You see, this is why they're not recognized. If we really did come from Africa, they would recognize us as Africans in America who were taken, but we're not really recognized as that. We're not. We're not, because that didn't happen. We are the American Indians who had America taken from us. You better off asking for reparation with that, even though they ain't gonna give it. They know we black people equals the American Indians. They know that. You see, but that's the little dirty secret they're not gonna tell. So that's 5. And number 6 is, most importantly, number 6, that we're supposed to accept the philosophies of this society, i.e. politics and all this other stuff. Voting, anybody telling you to vote, any of these so-called black influencers telling you to vote, that your vote count, don't listen to them, man. Your vote don't count, man. I told you, stop believing in BS, man. Your vote don't count. You voting for nothing. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, I told you, it don't matter. It's going to be the same shit. You know what I mean? Whatever the corporations tell them to do, that's what they're going to do. Okay. So, anybody tells that's 6 right there. Watch out for any of them people. Go right back. Watch out for anybody that, and notice that's most of your so-called pro-blacks today and your Pan-Africanists. They all fit those criteria of these black influences. Why do you think they channel don't get flagged on you? Their channels don't get flagged. They got hundreds of thousands of followers. YouTube helps them to get those followers. Me, I had over 22,000. I still got a page over 22,000. But here it is. I gotta tough it out with maybe the most 1,000 views. That's by design, man. They don't want YouTube don't want y'all listening to me. YouTube don't want you listening to me. You know why? You know why they don't want you? And it goes into another thing. Why they don't want our people? Why they don't want our people having mentellect? Why they don't want you having mentellect? Let me tell you something. If mentellect wasn't real, if mentellect was just some talk, it was just some BS, then why I got a shadow ban on my channel? I haven't said anything offensive. All I did was speak the truth. Why is there a shadow ban on my channel when I had over 22,000 followers on one page and people know my name on it, but like on YouTube, I'm known. My name is, people are familiar with me. Even though I changed my name to Benjamin Manhattan, but people are familiar with me. Why is it that I don't have more views? I mean, it'll happen over time, building up the algorithm, but I know that YouTube shadow banned my channel. I know that I'm probably never going to see above 1,000 listeners, but I don't care. I don't care. Because if I got to start lying to my people in order to get people to listen to me, I don't want to do this no more. I like being the freedom of being truthful. I like the freedom of being truthful, and I don't have to worry about the algorithms and, I can't say this. You ever see these guys on YouTube? These guys are supposed to be up here dropping knowledge. You guys are in it strictly for profit, and that's okay. That's okay. Like, you guys are in it for strictly for profit, and that's cool. You on YouTube for profit? I'm not on YouTube for profit. As you can see, I didn't monetize my channel, and I'm not going to monetize the channel. Because again, once you start monetizing the channel, then you can't say certain things. I'm already shadow banned already. They're going to really scrutinize my page. If I ever decided to monetize my channel, and I decide to really try and grow my channel, I'm going to be scrutinized. They're going to be taking videos down. They're going to be striking my videos. I already know. That's why I don't even bother to monetize. You better off going over to my Rumble page. I got like 2 or 3 shows in right now to casting. Go to Mentellect Unfiltered on Rumble. Go to Mentellect. I go Wednesday. I go live every Wednesday on there, and I come on here on Friday. So go to my Mentellect Unfiltered on Rumble. I got a few shows up, and I'm more free to say what I want. They don't try to strike your page or all this other stuff. So I'm doing both now. You see, I got to, if I want to get the truth out here, get the real truth out here. Because you got fake truth out here and you got real truth out here. I'm here to kick the real truth. The real truth, not the fake truth, not the your truth and my truth. No, the real truth, the one and only, logical, rational, objective truth. That's what I'm here to get. I'm not trying to, share my truth. I don't have any truth that's mine. I have intellect. I have mentellect, which is logical and rational thinking and foundation of all the things that that come from your mouth, that comes from your brain, logical and rational thinking. So I'm not here. So again, it's not a philosophy, more of an ideology of logical and rational, foundation to your words. Unlike these people out here who claim they're telling the truth and they sit up here lying to our people right in their face, like the 6 lies I just told you. I'm gonna go to this next one. Why I would rather Donald Trump be president instead of Kamala Harris? Again, I don't care about politics. I said I don't care, but I said it would be. I like that people are honest. Whether they racist, whether they hateful, whether they degenerates. I'd rather people be honest. And I ain't see Donald Trump be nothing but honest. Again, this ain't no thing that well, I'm campaigning for him. I'm not into politics at all. But, I'd rather see him because at least, you can't get no realer than Donald Trump. He just out. I appreciate that because I'm that type of person. I'm out front with my shit. I'm out front with my shit. I don't hide behind nothing. I'm out front. I don't care what nobody think about me. Because how can I care about what people think when y'all don't even really know how to think at all? Because again, the real key to thinking is to be able to utilize logical and rational, sense, which the majority of people on earth don't got. The majority of people on earth do not have access to logical and rational sense or sensory. They don't have it. So why would I care about what they think if you don't even have enough sense to understand what I'm saying, what I'm trying to convey? This is a futuristic message, which is mentellect. This is about raising up a race of lords, people who are utilizing law and order for self and kind collectively amongst our community. You see, the Lord's people. Let me see. I already said this already, but I'm gonna say it again. We're black people called black. Why we call black people to hide our American Indian heritage? Of course. That's why we really call black people as a way to hide who we are as American indigenous people. Like, for example, you got people over in India, the real dark-skinned people who are called the untouchables. That's something they got going on over there. They call the untouchables, but they're supposed to be the most dirtiest and lowest people because they're dark skinned. Get it? They trying to basically align those people with our people. That was a way to, by calling us Negroes and coloreds and all these other names and whatnot, black. That was basically a way of subjugating our people and separating our people from society. Black people are separated from society, or they were, but then some people, higher ups in this who run this thing decide they wanted to start including black people within society, but they're still outcasts. Why? Because what our people don't understand is we're never going to be accepted in this society because we are the American Indians. We are the American Indians, and we will never be accepted in the society because of that fact. That's what the whole black thing is about. You take away that hidden black nonsense, because again, black is nothing but a cover. It's something that you cover up. Black is something to be covered up, hidden. And what's being hidden under the blackness is who we are as American Indians. The real Americans, the real Americans that didn't come from Africa, that didn't come from no place else. We were always here in the Americas, always in America. There was never no time when we were any place else and came into America. We were always there because they try to teach that lying narrative that, we was in Africa and then we made our way into America. Please stop trying to Africanize our people. I told you that whole out of Africa theory is just that, a theory. All life did not start in Africa, and that's a lie that I told. I told why your Pan-Africanists and pro-blacks teach this lie that all life started in Africa, because that's a white man ideology. That's a Caucasian ideology, right? And they did that because it was Darwin, and I forget the other guy who said this, the whole out of Africa theory. I forgot the guy's name, but these Caucasians making up shit. These crackers making up shit, lying, telling lies, talking about we all life started in Africa, because once they said all life started in Africa, then they could start there. All life started here, but we are the ones who evolved above the other people that started here. That's the way for them to put their race above, their Caucasian, put their race above everybody else, saying, see, we all started at this line. Like, say, for example, you run a race, everybody at the start line, then we run the race and see, we ahead and we win it. That's why they wanted to put everybody in Africa. But that's not the case. We have our own origins here in America. We have our own origins here in America, not Africa. Africa's way on the other side of the damn planet, right along with Europe and Asia, which is all Africa. You see, that's all Africa. And that's what I was getting. The real reason why, because it's going to be the last one, because I got to get ready for my radio broadcast. I think I answered everything. I said the real reason why they don't want our people to hear mentellect, they don't want mentellect to be out here, The reason why YouTube don't want you to hear Mentellect is because they think Mentellect is too good for you niggas. I'm gonna be honest with you. They think Mentellect is too good for you niggas. Y'all supposed to be twerking. Y'all supposed to be talking about bullshit. You supposed to be talking about y'all black. Y'all supposed to be talking about y'all whatever. Y'all supposed to be talking about Serious A and Serious B or some other BS. Mentellect is, they feel that Mentellect is too good for y'all. It's too good for y'all. It's too much over y'all head because it's over their head. When I teach, it's over the heads of the Caucasians and it's over the heads of so-called black people. It is. I know y'all don't think that's possible because your ceiling is the white man. Your ceiling is him. He's your God. He is your God. Right? Now, people say, well, you sitting up here on YouTube and you sitting on the white man's thing. So what? So what? It's a tool to be utilized. We were given tools to be utilized here in the world. You being given food, right? They didn't grow food. Food was just growing here in abundance for us. So we were given things to utilize by certain entities above us and beneath us. So it would behoove us not to use the things that are at our fingertips that we can utilize to get this message out, which is about the raising of our people to a higher state of being. Because we provided a lot in this world. Hell, we provided this world for everybody in the world. We did. Because without us originating everything from societies to everything on earth, from the first monetary systems, which is why you had the richest man in the world, Mansa Musa, Mansa Musa? Man, he's still considered the most richest man on the planet. He's been dead for centuries and whatnot. He's still considered the most richest man on the planet. You see, because we the ones that started currency, we the ones that started trade, we the ones that built the first civilizations that are still standing today, all those pyramids all over America, Egypt, and all over the world that we put there as the American indigenous people, the real Americans, not the fake Americans who came from Europe and came from Asia, and the real Americans who didn't come from no place other than here, us. Going back to our Mesoamerican ancestry, because we was always the Mesoamericans, then became the American Indians, and then when the white man came, he turned us into black people. So, yeah, so that's why they don't want the mass. They're not trying to. They keep in mind, their money, their control is based on people's ignorance. It's based on your inability to utilize logical and rational thought. So in other words, the last thing they want is for y'all to get smart. They want you to still be dumb, because dummies believe in things. Dummies believe what they say. Dummies follow what they say. Dummies don't think. You see, they don't want thinkers. They want believers. In this world, in this society, they want believers. That's why it's so many religions, because that's all based on belief. It's so many damn different philosophies and ideologies, because that's all based on belief. This is the only thing that is based in logic. Everything in Mentellect is based in logic, so you're forced to think. That's why they don't want our people to have Mentellect. They think you niggas, y'all too slow. Y'all still can't even figure out why you being called black people. So I get it. Let me see if I got any questions in here. Do I got any questions? Mm-hmm. All right. All right, do I got any questions before I close out? Because I'm hungry. My lovely wife. Lovely wife, can I have my dinner, please? Lovely wife. It's bison night tonight. It's bison night. And she's going to bring in a lovely plate. Both my wives can cook. My wives are both, you would think they went to a damn culinary school or something like that. Both my wives can burn. Lovely wife. I know she's watching. I want to bring in the plate. They make such pretty plates. They make such pretty plates. All right. Let me see. All right. All right. Beautiful wife. Beautiful wife. Beautiful wife, beautiful life. And yeah, I said all you people that follow God, the God of this world, all you people that follow the God of this world, y'all just servants unto the white man. The God of this world is the white man. And the God they giving you to follow, Allah, Jesus, Jehovah, Yahweh, that's all images of them, man. Yeah, lovely wife. Can you bring in my play? I'm about to end my broadcast. Huh? I'm not allowing to bring my plate and everything. So, you know, I want to brag about your food. You make such beautiful food, lovely wife, one of my lovely wives. So, please, dear, put my plate together. I'm gonna see him touch on some other things. All right. All right. So let me make sure I done touched on everything. I gotta do my radio broadcast. If I offended anybody tonight, good. If I offended anybody tonight, good. Excellent. I'm glad. Because then it get you thinking. Sometimes you gotta offend people to get them to think, even though that wasn't my intention. But sometimes you gotta offend people. So, like, you know, you gotta break an egg and break some eggs to make an omelet. I said that about God because that's the truth. All you people that follow behind God, the God of this world is Satan, man. I don't care if it's calling itself Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh. Look at the people that gave you the God of this world. Look how degenerate they are. Look how filthy and degenerate they are. You God-fearing people. You the reason why the world is in turmoil, man. You the reason why there's wars, rumors of wars, people out here killing people over religion and God and the belief in this God and that God. You see? Turmoil, chaos, and confusion. All you God-fearing people. What y'all need is law, order, and true subjugation to that law and that order. Because again, y'all been running around off the goddamn chain doing what y'all wanted to do. You've been running around on the goddamn chain doing whatever you want to do. And look at you now. Just a bunch of babbling idiots still on your knees praying to some unseen force, still on your knees begging to an image of a white man, or Jesus, God, Allah, whoever. Because that's really what y'all talking about when you say Jesus, God, and Allah, because you ain't talking about yourself. How you gonna be talking about yourself when you grabbed or you attached onto the religion of another people? I said to the nation of Islam, I'm like, Islam is for the Arabs, man. That's not our way of life. Islam is for the Arabs, man. I said, because how you know that is, show me a book that a so-called that black Arabs or whoever you claim. Let me see something that they wrote. But before Muhammad's Quran, before the Arab Muhammad's Quran, you can't. Because there is nothing. That all came out of the Catholic Church too. Islam comes out of the Catholic Church too. Your so-called prophet Muhammad, his wife was a Catholic. Khadijah was a Catholic. And he got a lot of his ideas. So again, there goes that Greco-Roman connection. There goes the Greco-Roman connection. You see, even Islam is connected to Greco-Roman philosophy. Even Islam. That's why in the Quran, in the so-called Holy Quran, they have an Isa ibn Maryam, a chapter in the Quran about Jesus and Mary. That's the Catholic Church. That's the Catholic Church influence. Because the Catholic Church was around way before Islam. It was around way before. Stop saying Islam was around before Muhammad. No, it wasn't. No, it was not. Now, if them people was back there, they was creating their little pagan gods. People been creating pagan gods since the beginning. Since they've been creating little pagan gods since forever. But then they officially made it a religion behind Muhammad and the hadiths and all that. Because I used to be Muslim, so I know what Islam is. I used to be a Muslim. I'm so glad I'm not. I've been left that alone behind all that. We evolved. We evolved. All right. I've evolved. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I touched on everything.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, our followers watching you live. The internet must have been lagging.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was watching you.
Oh.
That's why you called. I'm like, what?
Oh, okay. Ooh, beautiful. Y'all see this? Let me get this in the camera. Can y'all see this? This is bison ribs. some avocado, some what is this? Some gluten-free pasta and broccoli and some bison. We eat bison around here from time to time. I don't touch cow. We eat the buffalo. So I'm about to dig into this, not on camera though, because I'm pretty much done with this. I gotta get ready for my broadcast. If I offended anybody, sorry. I mean, I guess, hey, whatever, man. Whatever. I'm gonna close out in the name of Amen, by the power of Amen. Amen we trust, and Amen we thank, and Amen we continue forward forever. Subscribe to this channel. Again, I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it for the monetization. So I don't care who watches, who doesn't. I want the intelligent ones of my people to watch. So if it means I only get 1,000 views, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna keep crashing the algorithms. My message is already out there. I already know I got forces working against me. Those God frequencies, that God frequency is working against me. That's okay, but you can't hold the Lord back. You can't hold the power of the Lord back. Too disciplined for that. Too dedicated for that. Too focused for that. And that's that. So subscribe to this channel. So, and again, you don't have to give me anything. I don't want any, I don't want any cash apps. No, I don't care about that. If you want to contribute or help out or whatever you want to do, you like the message, go to my Mentalect Patreon channel and subscribe. I go over there and my broadcasts be on there, my nightly ones and the stuff I do, the bonus stuff. So subscribe to my Mentalect Patreon, MEN. Well, it's in the description. MENTELLECT. Mentalect Patreon. Then you got the Mentalect Patreon men's channel for you men who are evolving and striving and growing to grow into greater men. Well, I'll say and separating the men from the males. Got to make sure I say that. That's what my channel on Mentalect Patreon is about. Separating the men from the males. And go to the Mentalect Women's channel on Patreon. And that's all. And subscribe to Sister Enra Vanzetta's Ethnic American channel. And what else? I guess that's it. Join the Republic of America. Go down below. If you know that you are an American indigenous man, American indigenous woman of bronze descent, a bronze American indigenous man, bronze American indigenous woman, because we ain't rocking with the black thing. F the black thing. F the black shit. F the black thing. F the African American stuff. We ain't rocking with that. We're not rocking with African American. We ain't rocking with black over here. Take that someplace else. Take that to the mentally dead Negroes. We done bypassed that. We evolved out of it. We American indigenous people of bronze descent, and our Lord and who we are as a race is Amen. So again, subscribe to those channels. Join the Republic of America, the first real American indigenous community. And that's it. I'm out. My music is a little slow, so